guys. Haste Hustle Generation Now. With my boys. Joe. What's going on? Welcome to the vlog. So, Haste Hustle Generation Now. It's a entrepreneur networking motivational event type thing. I came here really to see Gary Vee because he's one of the biggest inspirations for this vlog, as well as Andrew Neem. So shout out, or Neemi, shout out to those guys. So far it's been really cool. Good shit. The last guy was really funny and really motivational.
If you want to get into any conversation, use your power words. First one is hi, right? And just say it. Don't be an introvert. Hi. Like you have to get out there. Hi. That's your first one. The other ones are, excuse me, pardon me, sorry to interrupt. They will get you into any conversation. Doesn't matter if it's one person, 3 person, or a group of 10. What's the worst that can happen? Hi, excuse me, sorry to interrupt. My name is Bobby Amari. I just want to connect with you guys. Okay, please continue the conversation. And now I'm in. What's the worst that can happen? Go away! You know what that happens? You know what you do? Run away. Run away and never return. That's not going to happen. So use your power words. I want you to practice that. Number 2, the art of conversation. You want to go with the flow, not against it, right? He's like, oh my God, I love swimming, and oh, you know what, yeah, I go cliff diving, oh yeah, you know, I love boating. And he's like, my grandfather died at the beach. That does not go with the flow. It doesn't inspire people. Okay, go with the flow. Ask the right questions. You know, don't talk about politics. Don't tell me about your mother. Like, what is that? That's so personal. I remember actually one time I was doing a networking event, it was table talks, and this one girl wasn't talking, and I said, you know, Sasha, what do you think? Like, well, do you have any questions for me? And she's like, do you believe in God? And I was like, what? And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, so then I think about it felt like forever, but in 5 seconds I said, you know what? You first. Do you believe in God? And she's like, I'm not comfortable talking about it. I said, then why are you asking me?
I think I got one. We've seen him. We've spotted him. He's in that bus behind me.
I'm grateful for having so many natural talents. So for me, it's less about insecurity and I gotta prove it or stick it, though I love that and I love competition. Yeah. Like I wanna beat everybody. But more what's driving me is, fuck, I was gifted with the best ingredients. I better get my chef game up to make this dish. Because I was a
chef for 15 years.
So I love it, it's a great analogy. Like, I've gotta get my chef game up. Like, I've been given the best foie gras, the best beef from Japan and Argentina, the best vegetables, and fuck, I better make the greatest meal, because if somebody makes a better meal than me, with less, because the ingredients were given.
No, I hear you.
So for me, it's about, how do I keep challenging myself to become the best chef in the world? Because my DNA is off the fucking charts. My origin is fucking all time.
Gary, I just want to thank you. I started this vlog because of you.
Thank you, brother. Good luck to you.
Just met Gary Vee, shook his hand. It's like shaking a rock, a stone, like a million-year-old stone. It was hard as No, it wasn't that hard, but it was, man, I haven't felt like that since like seeing like Tom DeLonge and shit, like back in the day, right?
I was just thinking that.
Like, we used to like see concerts all the time. We used to like see like all these rock stars, but I haven't felt that feeling since those days.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was thinking, fuck, we used to wait outside the fucking venue just to meet these bands.
Exactly.
And now I'm like, I'm excited to meet this fucking
from rock stars to CEOs.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where the society has gone to. Like,
legitimately.
Who are your idols now?
Yeah, exactly.
Legitimately.
Gary Vee, shout out to you. Thank you. About to start his speech, his
Yeah, he's coming on next.
He's next.
Next.
Do everything right in those other positions, the best I could be is third, and no one wants to do that. So I need to find somewhere where I can be first. Okay, and this is really important brand differentiation. So we found this other world around entrepreneurship. And the truth is that young people today are really aspiring to be entrepreneurs. Look at us all here. Okay, so this is clearly an era of entrepreneurship. And so when I really start talking to people and said, who actually cares more about, do you want to run a 6-minute mile or be the CEO of your own company? And 90% of people say, I want to be the CEO of my own company. So there's clearly a shift in what are or who are the aspirational people to youth culture now, and it's becoming entrepreneurs. And so why is the sneaker business talking about running fast and dunking a basketball? People have moved on. And in fact, celebrities are great, but it's a little shallow. So there's this whole new area around entrepreneurship that we jumped into. So simply put, this is how I tell the story. If you want to be an athlete, Nike's your brand. If you want to be a celebrity or be the cool kid at the party, Adidas is your brand. If you want to be the boss or the CEO, listen to us. And it's a simple exercise of differentiation, critical. This has led us to our brand purpose, modern brand purpose of K-Swiss, to outfit and inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. This is bigger than selling shoes, and that's another thing. As people will talk to you a lot about brand purpose, there's great presentations I've heard about, you know, the why versus the what, and this is why we get up in the morning and try and get people to come to work and saying, hey, I'm not here to sell sneakers to make a profit. I'm here to inspire youth to make the best of themselves. That's a way bigger platform. And the truth is, the conversations we're having now with our customers is about their hopes and dreams, not about sneakers. And when that happens, you know you've tapped into emotional connections, and that will last a whole lot longer than just having great shoes, which we also have. So I've highlighted the word inspire here as a really important thing for a company to do, is not just have a value proposition on the product, but to stand for something bigger. And I know most of you already know that, because that's been talked about quite a bit. Here is what young CEOs look like today. This is the other thing I love, is because they don't look like you'd expect. Top left there is a guy called Anwar Carrots. He's the CEO of his own streetwear brand called Carrots. He's a CEO. Young people want to be him. He's creative, he's successful, and he's selling his own clothes in his own stores around the world. Karen Civil is a social media powerhouse. She's a CEO and a hustler making things happen. Young women want to be Karen, not necessarily to play for the Yankees. Coco and Breezy founded their own eyewear company in New York City. Creative, successful, they're their own bosses. And Elliot Tabele, who runs the Instagram account Fuck Jerry, again, young, successful, I'm not allowed to say that. Doesn't count, because it's an Instagram handle. These are all people who have been in our campaign. And then I was looking for a bigger face to, who can really bring this to life for me? Who's my Michael Jordan? And I ended up with this guy. So I reached out to Gary and I wrote to him a cold email and I said, hey, I believe entrepreneurs are the new heroes. Easy, check the box. Do you want to make the first ever signature sneaker for an entrepreneur? And he wrote back right away, said, let's do it.
Haste Hustle.
That's it.
No, but there's a thing after it. It's like
Generation Now?
Generation Now. Haste Hustle Generation Now is now over.
It's now
Theo,
over.
what do you think?
This is fantastic. It was a packed day, full of just motivation, inspiration, Yeah, fully charged. Tired. I could take a nap right now. But I'm glad I stuck it in there and stayed the whole day.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not just the speakers, it's the people too. It's like it's just everyone's on the same kind of energy.
Yeah.
So like you feed off them, but then it's funny because right after Gary left, it's like almost the energy just left with him.
Yeah, true. It's very true.
But
it was, it went down a little, but I'm still glad we stayed.
yeah, no, for sure.
How you doing? Not bad, man. Not bad. We just got out of the event. Where are you at?
That was freaking awesome. Gary, thanks for coming to Toronto. That was super inspiring and motivational. You are an inspiration to my vlog, so I thank
You guys
you
gonna
so
be chilling there
much.
for a while?
Hopefully one day you get to see this shit.
Okay. Well, what are your plans?
Hey guys, episode 3, we made it. We made it! I'm gonna take this in a slightly different route, Now that I've given you a better idea of what composition, lighting, exposure are, which to me are the most important techniques in photography, I want to take a moment to talk about why I started the vlog. So first and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys, anyone who's subscribed, anyone who's liked, commented, watched the videos, anyone who's liked my Facebook page, anyone who's followed me on Instagram. I just want to thank all of you guys. I appreciate it. I love you guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Arthur. I live in Toronto. I'm Filipino. I've been shooting since about grade 10, 11, which for me was 2002, 2003-ish. Took a elective course in high school about photography, film photography, and I learned all the basics, all the fundamentals, but with film. So I even learned how to develop the film. I learned how to take that film into the dark room and create actual photographs on paper. So that was a really interesting experience, really fun, like life-changing experience. Shout out Mr. Bulat, Mr. Champion, because I learned a lot in that class and found a love for photography from that class. I'm 31. I've always been interested in art, but it's one of those things where, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, where you have so many interests. You love doing everything, but you don't know which one to do, and you don't know if you can do all of them at the same time, because that's just such a crazy task to take. But I broke it down and I just asked myself, which of those things do you do the most? And which of those things do you spend the most time at trying to master, without it being too stressful, without it feeling like a waste of time? It ended up being photography. Because, I love just shooting. And 2, sometimes, I'll be on Photoshop, I'll upload the photos, be on Photoshop, and spend hours and hours and hours on a photo, just like tweaking it. So I figured, you know what, I guess it's photography. But long before that, and not that long, maybe a month or 2 ago, I started watching this guy named Gary V. He is a entrepreneur, CEO, businessman guy. Public speaker, bestseller. He has a very blunt / aggressive way of speaking. And for most people, when you first watch him, you're like, you kind of don't like him because he's a little too aggressive. But then, if you watch him enough, you realize that the things he's saying make total sense. And if you're being sensitive about it, it's just because you're insecure about how you feel towards what he's saying to you. And if you could just man up, woman up, and just take it for what it is, there's a lot of value in what he's saying. I've been watching him for a while now, and just like any entertainer that I really enjoy watching, I had to see it live. So me and the boys went to Haste Hustle Generation Now 2018 to see him, and it was great. Got to see him on the street, which you just saw. So when I first started watching Gary, one thing that stood out is he talks about documenting versus creating. What does that mean? What does documenting versus creating mean? I asked myself that because documenting is a form of creating, right? So it's hard to really interpret that the right way, because not only that, he doesn't really get too deep into what he means by that. So originally, when I heard that, I was like, what? Does he want me to stop creating art and just document whatever that means? And the more I watched him, the more I realized what he's really saying is, if you want to be a creator of some sort, if you want to build a brand, especially in this social media age, you have to believe in your story, in your passions, and document it, share it, because he believes that everyone has a story to tell that has some sort of value in the world. So like, you know, you might take some random person who's homeless, and if he could just find a way to document his life, maybe more people would be more empathetic and sympathetic of homeless people out there. That's just an example. So in relation to that, he says to document because there's value in your story. He's not promising you're gonna blow up. He's not promising, you know, you're gonna be the next Perez Hilton or whatever it is. But there is value in it. And originally I had the dilemma of thinking, so I shouldn't create anymore. I should just document. I kind of just decided by myself that I'm gonna try to do both at the same time. Document myself creating, which is pretty much what this vlog is. It's a documentation of me creating photographs and sharing my knowledge. That's basically the genesis of this vlog. It's just Gary saying document versus create. Now he says a lot of other things too. He also says you should double down, triple down on your passions. Those are essentially the things that you're gonna put your most time and energy into. And those are the things that'll satisfy you the most. He basically means to work your ass off. If you know yourself well enough, if you know yourself well enough to know that you want to be doing something, whatever it is, for the rest of your life, you should double down, triple down on it, work your ass off, and make no excuses. In one of his videos, he said, if there's something about your current state of reality that you don't like, and you're complaining about it and not doing anything about it, then that's foolish. If you don't like your job, then get a new job. If you're making excuses that you don't have enough time, then audit what you're doing after work. Like, what are you doing when you get home? Are you taking a nap? Are you eating all night? Are you watching Netflix? Are you not working on yourself? If you can audit yourself and think about how much time you're wasting by not working on what you really want to be working on, how dare you complain? That's what he's basically saying. So I'll admit, in between work and trying to edit my photos and do this vlog, it's a lot of work for sure, a lot of energy. But I mean, it doesn't really make sense to be doing anything else.